From his very first speech to the school, Matt, as SJA president, has set a tone of honesty, inclusion, and acceptance, and urged us to embrace the concept of forgiveness. He has led the students of MBS with a commanding presence, always thoughtful, and with the best interests of MBS at heart. Matt has represented his peers extremely well and has served as an exemplary role model for the younger students. His love for his fellow students in the school has never been in doubt. Please welcome Matt Smith.
So this guy's walking down the street and he falls into a hole. And the walls are really steep. He can't get out by himself. And so he's sitting down there, and a few minutes later, he sees a doctor passing by. So he looks up and he says, "Hey doc, please, I'm stuck down here. Can you help me out?" So the doctor looks down at him, writes out a prescription, throws it in the hole, and he moves on with his day. So 10 minutes later, our guy is still in the hole, and he looks up and he sees a priest walking by. And he looks up and he says, "Father, please, I'm stuck down here. Can you help me out?" So the priest writes out a prayer, throws it in the hole, and he moves on with his day. So, big surprise, 20 minutes later, our guy is still in the hole, and he looks up and he sees one of his friends walking by. "Hey Joe, it's me. Please, help me out." Now his friend looks at him and jumps, feet first, straight into the hole. And our guy looks at him and he says, "What are you, stupid? Now we're both stuck down here." And the friend looks at him and he says, "Yeah, but I've been down here before, and I know the way out." My time at Morristown-Beard was defined by extraordinary people. People who time and time again chose to jump into a problem with me and say, "Let's figure this out." And when I was thinking about what to talk about today, all I kept coming back to was those people who did amazing things for the school and for me, those people whose quiet acts of grace and service made this community a better place. I kept coming back to those people who jumped down, joined their friends in a problem, and said, "Don't worry about it, we're here together now." The topic came to me while I was sitting in academic awards a few weeks ago, watching my friends one by one go across the stage to get recognition for their achievements. And I kept thinking about all those people graduating this year who didn't win awards or make headlines, but who led quietly. I thought about Allie Dietrich, who scored her 100th goal in hockey, came in the next day, shrugged off every compliment she was given, and got right back into being a strong moral force in every room she's in. I thought about Taj Valentine, who worked day and night for a week to make the best pep rally we've had at the school, and then immediately gave me all of the credit. I thought about Ian Boumet, who spent 2 hours whipping cotton candy for the SGA barbecue, and then he walked straight off to class without a word of complaint and a smile on his face. I thought about Natalie Pruitt, who spoke to a teacher when she was worried about me, got me my first therapist, and then never said a word about it. I thought about Calvin, Renee, Jack, Grace, Sandia, Maria, Brian, and Joey, leaders all never asking for credit and always setting an impossible standard for kindness and caring. And when we talk about leadership, we usually talk about loud people. We talk about those people who get in front of crowds and who are comfortable yelling to make their point. Those people who demand credit. Yet the true measure of a leader's strength is how they change those people around them. And what I find is that the classmates of the class of 2018 have changed me. So as we go into this next stage of our lives, we have to think about our experiences and the people that changed us here. Think about your tests and your late night chats, the games and the performances and the essays we finished 5 minutes before they were due. Think about Francesca calling out Mr. Burns as he introduced reading period. Think about the classes after lunch that made you want to fall asleep and the classes where you actually did fall asleep and get away with it. Remember the challenges you faced and the people you loved. Keep thinking and remembering and soaking in every drop of this experience, because it is ending today. I think when we look back on our time in high school, we're not going to remember our schoolwork. I don't think we're going to remember which of the 8 Prussian Frederick Williams was the great elector. Little AP Euro joke. I think we're going to remember the people and the experiences that changed who we were and how we thought. We're going to remember growing and fighting and crying. We're going to remember trying to be a student and a friend and a teacher and a child and a sibling all at once. We'll remember that if there's one thing MBS taught us, it's that we shouldn't be afraid to be wrong. We shouldn't be afraid to raise our hands or ask questions or challenge opinions. We shouldn't be afraid to be leaders. And starting this fall, we're going to arrive at some truly unique schools. We're going to pull up to Tulane, Smith, Georgetown, Penn, and dozens of other amazing institutions. and then we'll unpack our things and be surrounded by people who love what we love and are just now discovering themselves right alongside us. And then we'll have an opportunity to choose which version of ourselves we want to become. So we should never forget just how lucky we are. We should never forget all the people who don't have this opportunity. And so our job for the next 4 years is to make sure that not one of the people left behind is ever more deserving of this experience than ourselves. It's our responsibility not just to live this experience and to learn from it and to revel in it, but to deserve it. And I'm not saying don't have fun at college. Absolutely, make new friends, learn about ourselves, grow, fall in and out of love, go to parties, enjoy the experience we have ahead of us, because it really is once in a lifetime. But remember that our success is going to be dictated by who we are, how we work, and how we treat those around us. So spend your next 4 years living this experience and come away from it as the person you want to be, a person who changes people for the better. Make sure you know that no matter what you're doing next year, it's all up to you. And that's a terrifying thought, and an amazing one. We get to change who we are and how we think and decide what impact we want to have on this world. So all I can ask today is that you think about those people in your life who have changed the way you think, those people that have served with grace and dignity and have worked to make those around them better. Think about those people who have never asked for credit and yet deserve it the most. Maybe it's the history teacher who gave you extensions during Tech Week, maybe it's your parents, maybe it's a classmate, maybe a teammate, but whoever it is, keep them in your heart. The truth is there's a finite amount of people in this world who are willing to jump down into that hole with you and say, come on, I know the way out. And so the ones that we have are worth treasuring. We'll do what is hard this next 4 years. We will achieve what is great. We will be leaders and students and friends, and we will be all that we are capable of becoming. And when all is said and done, we'll remember those people who jumped down to help us out. So today, I say congratulations and thank you to my class of 2018.